Hello my dear children, welcome to yet another session of our newly launched ICSE series. How are you all? Hi World of Boom, hi. How are all of you doing? Okay, I hope you're having a great time. Akhilesh, hi. Sanvi, SD classes. Thank you very much. I hope you're all back home from school. Yash, hi Yash. Hi Akhilesh. Hello, it's absolutely great to see all of you. Rahul, hi. Hi Sindhu. Okay, so let's get started guys. So welcome to the first live session, the very first live session of our ICSE Class 10 Biology classes. So let's get started with your first chapter today, okay? But before we get started, I have something to ask you. Hi Sarthak. Now, all of you have to answer this question, okay? Which of these stages do you all stand on right now? I can't do it, I want to do it, how do I do it, I'll try to do it, I can do it, I will do it, and success. I want all of you to answer right now. Good evening, SD classes. Okay, I'm waiting for your answers. I'll try to do it. Great, Yash. Okay. I will do it. Purva, great. Taruni, great. I can do it. Biology is boring. Oh, let's make it interesting, Rahul. Okay. I will do it. World of Boom, great. Good evening, Ashish. Okay, okay. I want to do it. Kavan, Payan, Purva. Great, Purva. My favorite subject is bio. What's my stage? Well, I will do it. It depends on the task that I take up. But as of now, it is I will do it. Okay? All right. So let's get started, guys. Our very first topic for ICSE Class 10 Bio. The first chapter that we have is Cell Cycle. Okay, cell cycle and cell division. And I understand that most of you have asked for lessons on the topic mitosis, which is definitely a very important topic, right? Not just for class 10. In fact, especially if you are going to continue with a career in biology, mitosis as such is an absolute basic topic that you really need a good grasp on, right? So it's a very important thing to get started with. But before that, I really want all of you to understand why mitosis happens, where it happens, how it happens, and all of that, right? So we basically need to set some context before we get started directly with mitosis, right? Which is why I thought in today's session, we can start with cell cycle. Okay, we'll just have a brief introduction to the cell cycle, and in our next session we will talk about mitosis. Don't go anywhere else, children. This is going to be a very interesting session. In fact, you are going to teach me some bits of it. Okay, because I will be asking you quiz questions, and I really want absolutely fantastic answers from all of you. There will be a little bit of teaching in between, but apart from that, we will have a quiz time at the start, at the end, and at the very end. I will also be giving you a very interesting question as homework, and let us look at who is answering first and who is answering best. Okay, so getting started. First of all, what is the cell? Tell me, what is the cell? No, you're not late, Shaurya. We're just getting started. What is the cell? You're absolutely in time. The cell is the basic structural unit of life, right? So basically for any organism, in the case of multicellular organism, yes, Nitin, fundamental unit of life, it is the fundamental unit of life. That is in fact the definition that we all memorize from the very first time that we read the chapter cell, right? We study the chapter cell. Yes, it is, Purva, it is the fundamental unit of life. What do I mean by that? Right? Basically, for any multicellular organism, for any organism, say for example, in our case, all of us start our life as one single cell, which is the diploid zygote. right? One cell which divides into 2 and they multiply and divide into 4, 8, 16 and so on until we have become what we are today, right? So growth keeps happening, cells keep growing and dividing. That is basically what fundamentally happens in every multicellular organism, right? Yes, Neetu, we will be teaching about chromosome. Just hold on for a little bit. It is field physics. You say it is the smallest living organism. Okay, it's in fact the smallest living unit, which is why we call it the fundamental unit of life, right? Meiosis, yes. We will be taking up meiosis, chromosome and all of them. Meiosis not in today's session, but in the sessions to come. Okay, so please stay tuned. We will be coming to all of that, right? So just take a look at the cell. All of you, I'm sure, have done this from your lower grades, right? All of us know the names of all the cell organelles, right? We have the cytoplasmic membrane or the plasma membrane. We have the endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosomes, the nucleus, nucleolus, nuclear membrane, the Golgi apparatus or the Golgi complex, cytoplasm, of course, the mitochondrion or the mitochondria in plural, and definitely the chloroplast in the case of plant cells or any cell that undergoes photosynthesis, right? It doesn't matter even if you are from CBSE. Satyajit, yes, I have seen your comment. Yes, it doesn't matter if you are in CBSE. This is a very basic topic which will certainly help you even to understand the concepts that you have to deal with in your syllabus, right? We will come to all of those, okay? So this is the basic about cell that you have learned from your lower grades, right? So let us now see how much of the cell you remember. Okay, now this is going to be a very short quiz time. Okay, let's get started with it. Time for a quiz. The very first question. All of you, let's see who's answering fastest. Thank you, Purva. Let's see who's answering fastest. I am an organelle found in plants and algae. I absorb sunlight and use it to drive the synthesis of carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water. Who am I? Yes, amazing, amazing. Pami Prasad, Yash, chloroplast. Chloroplast is definitely the answer. Plastid is also correct, but we have 3 different types of plastids and a specific answer is chloroplast. Pratik, Nitin, Pinking, all of you, thank you very much. Yes, I did see that you answered first. Thank you very much. Yes, chloroplast is certainly the answer. Yes, here is the chloroplast, because this is a plant cell that we have shown here, and this is what the chloroplast is, right? Photosynthesis. It basically helps in photosynthesis. Going to the next question. Quickly get to the answer. I am an organelle found in plants and, oh, I'm sorry, this is again your answer slide, chloroplast. This is our next question. A protective layer external to the plasma membrane in plant cells, bacteria, fungi and some protists. The cell, it protects the cell and helps maintain its shape. There is a small typo here. I'm sorry about that. It protects, no, it's fine. Protects the cell and helps maintain its shape. Cell wall, yes, absolutely. Basanta, Pami Prasad. Yes, absolutely. Nitin, I've seen all your answers. Cell wall is indeed the right answer for this. As you see, this is a typical cell. Cell wall is in fact present in plant cells and in some bacterial cells and some fungal cells. Okay, the composition may be different in different cells. Animal cells, of course, do not have a cell wall, right? We've learned all of this. Right? So this is the cell wall. Where is it? Yeah, the outermost layer. I'm sorry. The outermost layer that you see here, right outside the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, is what we call cell wall. Satyajit, okay, you answered first. Great. Okay, coming to the next one. Suicide bags of the cell. Amazing. Pinking. Lysosome. Yes, lysosome is indeed the answer. Keep it up. Lysosome, this is what it is. We nickname them as suicide bags of the cell. Yash, Kaniz, Purva, Satyajit, Devinder. Amazing, amazing guys. Pratik, Deepa. Just in case I'm not able to call out each one of your names, please don't feel bad at all. I have been reading all of your comments, just that it's scrolling up a little fast, so I may miss out a few names, but all of you are definitely special to me, right? So this is what the lysosome is, okay? Coming to the next question. Yes, the organelle that acts as the storehouse for most of a cell's DNA. Where is our answer for this? Where is the DNA stored in a cell? Very good, Pinking. Amazing. Nucleus. That was quick again. Neetu, Payan, Babu, Deepak. Amazing. Nucleus. Yes, nucleus is certainly called the control center of the cell. As you see, nucleus is the answer, and the nucleus is right there. Right? We call it the control center of the cell. It's in fact, you can compare it to the CEO of a company, right? It controls all the activities of a cell, and it stores most of the genetic material of an organism, right? Amazing. Thank you, Shravani. Seema. Let's go on to the next one. The site of protein synthesis in the cytoplasm. Let's see who remembers this. Why not chromosome, Satyajit? We are talking about the storehouse of the genetic material. We are talking about which organelle contains the genetic material, right? The organelle is definitely the nucleus. Golgi apparatus, the site of protein synthesis. Amazing, Deepak. Yes, ribosome. Ribosome is in fact where, not the Golgi apparatus, ribosome is in fact where protein synthesis occurs in the cytoplasm of a cell. Right? So this is what the ribosome looks like. It's just, this is how we represent it in an illustration of a cell. Remember, that is the proteins, the site of protein synthesis in the cytoplasm of a cell. Okay, going ahead, a bean-shaped organelle that supplies energy to the cell. RER is also correct because it contains ribosomes, right? So we have come to the next question. Mitochondria, crazy octopus. That's a crazy answer. Thank you very much for answering fast. Bean-shaped organelle that supplies energy to the cell. We also call it the powerhouse of the cell, and it is the mitochondrion or mitochondria in plural, right? One mitochondrion or many mitochondria, correct? So this is what the mitochondrion looks like typically, okay? Now, coming to the next one. A thin, flexible layer around the cells of all living things, and its job is to separate the cytoplasm from the cell's surroundings. Who can give me the answer for this? We've moved on to the next question, children. Cell membrane, amazing, Purva. Yes, cell membrane or the plasma membrane, right? Not the protoplasm. The cell membrane is the layer which is right inner to the cell wall. In the case of an animal cell, cell membrane would be the outermost layer, right? So cell membrane. Thank you very much. Yes, Taruni. Pinking, yes. Amazing, guys. The next question, a complex of vesicles and folded membranes within the cytoplasm of most eukaryotic cells involved in secretion and intracellular transport. Gosh, that's a little long, but I'm sure you know the answer to this. Vesicles and folded membranes within the cytoplasm of most eukaryotic cells. Yes, Pinking again. Golgi body, Golgi apparatus, Deepak. Golgi complex. Yes, all of them are the same. The Golgi apparatus, the Golgi complex, or the Golgi body is definitely the answer to this. Right? So this is what the Golgi complex looks like, or the Golgi bodies look like. So great job, guys. Thank you very much. So that clearly shows that all of you, at least most of you, remember what the basics about a cell are. Yes, Golgi apparatus, Golgi body. Aishwarya, thank you very much. Thank you very much for participating so actively, children. Keep it up. We will have another quiz after we do a little bit of learning within a few minutes, okay? So we will doubt in DNA and chromosomes. We will be coming to all of that very soon, okay? So stay tuned, wait for a little bit, okay? So we'll be coming to all of that. So great job, guys. Keep it up. Let's go on to the next thing. What was our topic for today? Cell cycle, right? So this, I guess, set a context to understand what a cell is, just to recap what you have learned before in your lower grades about the cell. But this is very important, right? Why do cells divide? Why do you think cells divide? In fact, if you just look at this cartoon, I found it very cute, okay? So this is a baby, a newborn cell. It's telling its parent cell. So I split into two, and that's it. In fact, That's it. Because the ultimate aim of every cell is to divide and redivide. There are, of course, some cells, depending on their function, that do not divide any further. We're not talking about those in this particular chapter, at least right now. We are talking about most of the cells in a typical eukaryotic organism's body that will continue their division throughout. Okay? So that's what the daughter cell is asking, because is that all that I have to do? And yes, that is actually all that it has to do. It has to be born, the new cell has to be formed, and its next aim is to prepare itself to divide, prepare itself for cell reproduction or cell division, right? So why exactly do cells divide? This is how we can put the points in crisp. It is, of course, important for the growth of an organism, right? Like I told you in the start, all of us started our lives as one single cell, one single diploid cell, and that divided and further divided, and division kept happening until we have become what we are. Even now, constantly in various parts of our body, cell division keeps on happening. Growth keeps happening, right? So for growth of an organism, cell division is absolutely essential, right? The second point is repair, of course. For repairing any damage or injury in the body, new cells have to be formed so that they can replace the damaged or old cells, right? And thirdly, for reproduction. In the case of some organisms, right, like unicellular organisms like amoeba and all of those, they undergo binary fission, right? Some bacteria also. For them, cell division and reproduction mean exactly the same. But in our case, reproduction is totally different, but that also involves different kinds of cell division, right? So that's about it. Growth, repair, and reproduction, thirdly, right? So going on, before we get into what exactly happens in the cell cycle, there are a few terms that we need to understand, right? These are 4 basic terms. You would have heard these terms before. I'll just put them out for you right here in a very quick form, okay? Just so that it sets a bit more context for you to understand what we are talking about in the coming slides, okay? So DNA. First of all, DNA, RNA, chromosome, chromatids, centromere, and of course, homologous chromosomes. I'm very sure all of you have heard of all of these terms. Yes, it is deoxyribonucleic acid. Let's just look at what it is. This is what DNA typically looks like, right? We represent it like this. DNA, the full form of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. We are coming to that, we are coming back to that, Akhilesh. So just hold on a bit. We are coming to all those terms. Okay, chromatids will come very soon. Deoxyribonucleic acid, simply put, the simplest form that I can put it for you is, it is the form of genetic material, the biochemical form of the genetic material, which is found inside the nucleus of each of our cells. Okay, it is basically the genetic material that we have, DNA. Next is RNA. Right? RNA usually is single-stranded. Unlike DNA, DNA is double-stranded, which is why the image looks a little different. RNA looks like one half of this, right? Most of the time, DNA is double-stranded and RNA is single-stranded. Let's not get into those details now. RNA is basically ribonucleic acid, while DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. But RNA is also a form of genetic material. In our case, it is mainly DNA, but RNA is also involved in protein synthesis and a lot of other functions in our body, okay? But there are also some lower organisms like viruses and many organisms in which RNA is the basic genetic material, right? Is RNA responsible in heredity? It certainly has a role to play in heredity, which we will be seeing very soon. The next one now, okay? So I had mentioned the terms chromosomes, chromatids, centromere in the third point. Akhilesh, I remember your comment. Chromosomes, chromatin and centromere was what I had put as the third one. And the fourth one was homologous chromosomes, okay? So for the time being, just look at this. Just ignore the word homologous here, okay? Just remember that these are chromosomes. Don't look at that side for now. And just let's understand what chromosomes are, okay? Look at these. These are basically chromosomes. What exactly are they? We know what a cell looks like. we know that a cell has a nucleus, right? Inside the nucleus, there is a long entangled thread-like network which is called chromatin. Right? Chromatin is in fact what contains DNA, which is our genetic material, right? So what happens is during cell division, chromosomes, the chromatin is organized into a much more condensed form, which we call chromosomes. Chromosomes are typically found in pairs, especially in diploid organisms like us, right? Chromosomes are found in pairs. So we will talk about that also, but just understand that much. Chromosomes are nothing but the condensed form of chromatin. Okay, so that is what this is. It's basically just a condensed form. Okay, made of histones. Yes, histones are proteins which are found along with DNA. Okay, so what happens is when the DNA replicates inside a cell's nucleus, when DNA duplication happens, you find the chromosomes to be found in this kind of a manner. This is what you would call, they duplicate in this kind of a manner, and you call these two members sister chromatids. Okay, so this one single thread here is a chromatid. Okay, and one pair of sister chromatids held together by a structure which we call the centromere. Okay, so yes, this is what the centromere is. The sister chromatids held together by a structure called the centromere is what a chromosome would look like at the time of cell division, okay, during replication. Why not brother chromatids? Well, we'll have to ask the person who named them, okay? So at least for now, let's give a little bit of emphasis to the actual term that we have, sister chromatids. Okay, that's how people who discovered it have named it. I don't have any other answer to that question. Hi, Abhishek. Okay, so now we have spoken about what chromatin is, what chromosomes are, what chromatids are, and what centromere is, right? And we have also understood what sister chromatids are, right? So the next thing will be what are homologous chromosomes. Now say for example in a diploid organism, right? Like for example in the human beings, we are an example of a diploid organism, right? Chromosomes are always found in pairs, okay? They are found as paired structures. One of these members, we get one of these from our mother and one of these from our father, okay? And how is it decided? Say for instance, in the human cell, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, right? If we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, during zygote formation, what happens is, the first chromosome from the mother and the first chromosome from the father pair up. The second chromosome from the mother and the second one from the father pair up. Okay, these pairs are basically what we call homologous chromosomes. Okay, just understand that much for now, children. Homologous, remember homo, the prefix homo should tell you the meaning similar. Similar chromosomes which carry the genetic material for similar characters. That's exactly what we mean by this particular term. All right, moving ahead. Coming to what a cell cycle is. We have spoken about what a newborn cell is, what a cell has. It's got a lot of organelles, and we have also spoken about the importance of cells to divide, right? So we are talking about the series of reactions that happen between a cell and its replication, okay? The series of events that occur between cell formation and cell division. That is exactly what we call as cell cycle. Remember the baby cell that I showed you in the cartoon? It said, I just split into two and that's it. Yes. In fact, we are talking about the series of events that occur from the first point after the baby cell was formed until it is ready to divide, right? This is what cell cycle is. Oh,
hey
hi.
Guys, hi, what's up? How is things going? Really sorry for interrupting, ma'am.
That's okay. I'm sure they're all glad to see you.
I'm not sure of that.
In between, like.
Cell cycle पढ़ रहे थे अंडा फूटा. Hey guys, hi Ayush, hi Yash, hi Sanvi. Okay, I'm great Ayush, how are you? Hi guys, hi. Pranam, 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 pranam. कैसा चल रहा है सब? So are you guys happy about the series being launched for ICSE 10? सबको मजा आ रहा है? ऐसे ही प्रेरित जी ऐसे ही आप लोग से मिलने के लिए आ गए. कैसे हो आप लोग? सबको मजा आ रहा है? Thank you. You shocked us ना always.
It shocked me also actually. I didn't know.
मैं ऐसे टपकता रहूंगा. जब भी नए टीचर्स आएंगे वैसे टपकता रहूंगा, डरो मत. Super happy? Oh, that's great. Ma'am, how are our students?
They are amazing. They did a great job in telling me all the answers for the quiz that I gave them in the start.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Oh, you were having quizzes also then?
Yes. We started with a quiz.
That's great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. You also look great, guys. बिल्कुल आते रहेंगे, चिंता नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. ठीक है, अच्छा. तो guys, continue. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, Abhishek. Okay, so let's continue, guys. Cell cycle, right? We have understood what the definition of cell cycle is, right? The series of events, I just repeat because a lot of you were shocked because Abhishek sir walked in between, right? The series of events that occur between a cell's formation and a cell's division, right, is what we call the cell cycle, basically. Now, in short or broadly, a cell cycle can be divided into two stages, the interphase and the mitotic phase or the M phase, right? Interphase, remember, and mitotic phase. Now, why do you think this is called interphase? Inter. What is inter? Inter means between, right? So, interphase is a phase that happens between two adjacent mitotic phases, which is why we call it interphase, nothing else. Okay, remember this is very important because we are going to understand and explore what further comes in interphase, right? I know most of you want to know what happens in mitotic phase. Well, this is what I wanted to set exactly this context. This is where the mitotic phase would start, which we will be taking up in our next session. For today, let us understand what interphase is. Yes, Ronak. In between birth and division of cells. Yes, Yash. Okay. Yes, we are going ahead and going to understand all of those G phase, S phase, and all of those things that some of you would already be knowing. This is how we represent a typical cell cycle, right? So we are talking only about interphase, which is in fact a good majority of this chart that I've shown here, right? Mitotic phase is only this small skin colored part, right? Only that is the mitotic phase. We are bothered about this for the time being. All of that is interphase, correct? So what happens in interphase? The first step in interphase is called G1 phase or the gap 1 phase. Okay, Vijay, I have seen your comment. Vijay Kumar. Yes, we will be talking about structure of DNA and all of these very soon. Hold on for a bit. Let's just focus on understanding this because it's a very, very basic thing, an important topic to understand, right? So G1 phase is the very first phase of interphase, followed by S phase or the synthesis phase, and thirdly, the G2 phase or gap 2 phase. Okay, so interphase is divided into G1, S, and G2. Study K Guruji, yes. Okay. G1, S, G2 together form what we call the interphase. This is what a cell looks like in early G1 phase. Now, why do you think I have given two cells here? Remember, I told you a newborn cell, right? So when one round of cell division happens, one cell would have divided into two daughter cells, right? This is exactly the two daughter cells that I have represented here, which contain the chromatin, the nucleus, and the chromatin within it, the nucleolus, and all of those structures. And we are talking about the G1 phase or the gap 1 phase, GAP, gap 1 phase, right? So what happens in this phase is basically the cell grows physically, the cell grows in size, right? Just like for us humans, when a baby has to develop, the first thing would be physical growth that we see, right? So the cell grows in size. Secondly, RNA and proteins are also synthesized for DNA replication. DNA replication is absolutely necessary because only if DNA replication happens can the DNA be divided and distributed to the next generation, which are the daughter cells, right? So to prepare for that, G1 or gap 1 phase grows in size. The cell grows in size during this phase and all of these are synthesized. Remember? Okay? I hope that's clear. The next phase is synthesis phase or the S phase. S stands for synthesis, right? S here stands for synthesis. And synthesis of what? We are talking about synthesis of DNA. Right? We are talking about, yes, Ayush, yes, S phase, DNA synthesis. This is what basically happens in the S phase or the synthesis phase. The DNA duplicates or the DNA replicates. One very, very important point that I want to make here is that it is only an increase or doubling of DNA content that happens here. The chromosome number never doubles. Okay, this is one mistake that students usually make in their exams. It's only the DNA content that doubles. Remember, the chromosome number, especially if it's a diploid cell like a human cell, it would still be 2n. Okay, so the cells are still 2n or diploid. This is how we represent a diploid cell, but the cell, the DNA content would increase. If the DNA content was, say for example, 2C at the start, after the S, during the S phase, it doubles to 4C, right? But the chromosome number still remains the same, correct? So we have spoken about G1 phase and the S phase. Coming to the next phase, which is the G2 phase. Right? This is what a cell would look like in late G2. You see that the chromosomes are all replicated, right? You saw in G1 that they were all single, and to show that they have been replicated, we have shown it in this kind of a manner, right? The duplicated chromosomes, and this is also called the pre-mitotic phase. Why do we call it the pre-mitotic phase? Why do you think we call it pre-mitotic phase? Well, it's basically because pre just means it is before, right? Before. And mitotic is because we are talking about mitosis. This is the stage that happens before mitosis, right? Which is why we are also calling it pre-mitotic phase. Which phase is this? We are talking about gap 2 phase or the G2 phase. Gap 2 or G2. Right? What else happens here? Here again, further growth of the cell happens, especially an increase in nuclear volume, right? Nucleus obviously has to increase in volume because DNA has replicated, right? So it needs a lot more volume to accommodate that much of DNA, right? That much of DNA content has to be accommodated. So obviously the cell grows in size, especially the nucleus grows in size. Right? And thirdly, mRNA and rRNA are also synthesized. mRNA is messenger RNA, rRNA is ribosomal RNA. For now, let's not deviate into that. Remember that they are just different types of RNA which are required at different stages during heredity. Okay? So I hope that much is clear. Let us summarize it once again. This is what a cell cycle basically looks like, right? We have spoken about the cell cycle in general, which is the sequence of events that occur between the cell's formation and cell's division, right? All of those. And it's broadly divided into the interphase and the mitotic phase. What happens in the interphase is all that we have discussed today. Interphase happens in 3 different stages. Gap 1 or the G1 phase, wherein cell grows in size. The second stage, which is the S stage or DNA synthesis stage, wherein S stands for synthesis, of course. Synthesis of DNA happens, or DNA duplication or replication happens. And the third phase is G2 or gap 2 phase, again wherein cell growth, especially growth of the nucleus, happens, right? What happens after G2 now? Now the cell has grown, it has prepared itself for mitosis. What happens next? Obviously, it has to be mitosis, the topic that all of you have been eagerly waiting for mitosis, which we will be discussing in the next class. I think it's important to give you some time to digest this, understand what we discussed today, so that you come back with a fresher mindset when we sit down together tomorrow to understand mitosis, right? But guys, remember, in this particular representation, this is what we have called the mitotic phase, right? Mitotic phase again is broadly divided into karyokinesis, okay, karyokinesis, which is nothing but mitosis. Now, I want to make a point here, karyokinesis, which is an important term. Another important term that we have to know is cytokinesis. What do we mean by these two terms? Right? Karyokinesis, karyon means nucleus. And kinesis means division. So karyokinesis is basically division of the nucleus, which is what we call mitosis. And after the nucleus has split into two, the next thing that has to happen is cytokinesis. By cyto, we refer to the cytoplasm. And kinesis is division or splitting. Right? Cytokinesis means cell division. Yes, it is cell division, which is the last stage of cell division, wherein division of the cytoplasm also occurs. Right? So karyokinesis, cytokinesis, these are together called the mitotic phase, and ultimately we have the formation of two daughter cells. And what do those two daughter cells do? They individually go on and continue to perform their respective G1 interphase, S, G2, and so on and on and on until a cell has divided to the maximum possible extent, right? So I think that's about it. Let's now quickly look at what you have understood. Okay, I don't want to repeat the concepts again. I hope we have done a good job of understanding the interphase G1S, G2, and then the karyokinesis and cytokinesis, right? So just 2 or 3 very quick questions to see how much of it you have understood. Okay, who's going to give me the answer to this? Akhilesh, cytokinesis and karyokinesis are the cell division part. Okay, let's answer the question. Alfred, yes, give me the answer. Division of nucleus is called dash and the division of cytoplasm is called dash. Division of nucleus is called karyokinesis. Amazing. Ayush, yes. I got the first answer from Ayush. Neetu, yes. Karyokinesis. And the second one, Neetu, yes, it is cytokinesis. It's not differentiation. We have just explained what karyokinesis and cytokinesis are. Taruni, yes, good job. Karyokinesis and cytokinesis would be our answer to this particular question, right? The next one. Synthesis phase in the cell cycle is called so because of the synthesis of more DNA, RNA and protein or glucose. Why did we call the S phase as the synthesis phase? What is synthesized? DNA. Ayush again. Amazing. DNA. Hiral. Yes. DNA is definitely the answer. During synthetic phase or the synthesis phase, DNA is synthesized. And the very last question for today, for the quiz time, I will be giving you one more special homework question. Hold on for a bit for that. But before that, arrange the following stages of the cell cycle in the right order. Quickly, very quickly, very quickly. We don't have much time left. Yes. Yes, guys. 3, 2, 4, 1. G1S, G2M is how it has to be. 3, 2, 4, 1. 3, 2, 1, 4. Yes. Nitin. G1, yes. G1S, G2 and M. Taruni, yes, I think that was the first time I got the right answer completely. G1, S, G2 and M. Yes. So this is our answer for today's last quiz question. G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase, and finally the M phase. Again, M phase will be discussed in detail in our next session. So please stay tuned, guys. Mitosis is a very, very important concept. So don't miss the session. It's an absolute basic thing to understand in biology as a whole. Okay, before that, one quick question. I want all of you to put the answer in the comment section below for this, or send me an email, whatever works more comfortably for you. I don't think you will have a problem putting a comment right there, and I will look at who has given me the first and the best answer. Okay, the next topic will be mitosis. Dhruv, why is it that human red blood cells do not have a nucleus? We have spoken about nuclear division so much. We have said that cell division happens, nuclear division happens, but RBCs, which are very important to us, do not have a nucleus. How many of us know this, right? And if they do not, it is information to us. It is a new piece of information to us. Why is it that they do not have a nucleus? This is exactly what I want you to come up with answers for. So thank you very much, guys. Do not forget to download Vedantu's learning app. Do join our Telegram group so that you can interact with all our teachers directly regarding any of your academic doubts. And most importantly, if you enjoyed this session, do remember to hit the like button, do share it with your near and dear ones, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel Vedantu 9 and 10th, because we have newly launched our ICSE series. We do have some overlapping topics for CBSE as well, so stay tuned. Do not miss any of our upcoming sessions. Thank you very much. Do remember to connect with me. I'm always approachable. You can either put in your comments in the comment section below, or send me an email at ambika.gopalakrishnan@vedantu.com. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for being so active. Wonderful job by all of you guys. Thank you so much for giving me an amazing session. See you guys again with a lot more Josh and interesting sessions in the days to come, right? Happy studying. Bye-bye.